Welcome, and thank you for taking the time out of your last moments of summer to watch this video before coming in to meet with us. We hope it will give you an idea of how we will begin the year. Please write down and bring any questions you have to our drop-off Meet the Teacher meeting next week.
Shall we introduce ourselves without our masks on?
Yeah, I think it's time.
We're 6 feet apart, so we're safe.
We
We're
measured.
good.
We measured. We want to be careful for you guys.
All right, I'll start by introducing myself. I'm Mrs. Green, Amanda Green. I am a St. John's lifer. I've been around St. John's my whole life. I started at St. John's preschool and graduated in 8th grade. And my husband, Mr. Green, who is behind the camera. Thanks,
Hi, Mr. Green. Thank you.
He also went through St. John's as well, starting in kindergarten and graduating with me in 8th grade. I went on to BHS and graduated from BHS. I went to Concordia, got on my got my degree there and my minor in Lutheran education, and came back to Bakersfield where we got married, and now we have 2 boys. I have a little 5-year-old named Eli coming into St. John's here as a kindergartner, and then we have sweet baby Leo, who is 1.5 and starting at the Children's Center this year. Oh, and it's my 11th year at St. John's.
Thank you for saying that.
Yes, I almost forgot.
I'm Sarah Ablin, and I've been here for 12 years. I'm a Bakersfield product. I didn't go to St. John's, but I came up through the system, Bakersfield High School, also a lot earlier than Amanda was there. And then I went to Cotty College in Missouri and for my AA, and got my BA at UC Santa Barbara, and my teaching credential at Cal State. So I've covered the gamut here. I married Robin Ablin. He's a local real estate broker, and we have 2 gorgeous sons, Ben and Gabe. We're a soccer family, but not much soccer. There's a little bit of soccer going on, so we're not totally out. But we're excited to be here for your 3rd graders.
Yeah. And to jump in, we wanted to let you know that 3rd grade is always a big team effort between Mrs. Ablin and I. And especially this year, it's going to be an even bigger team effort because we're going to be team teaching the curriculum to your 3rd graders. So while one of us is teaching on the live stream through Vimeo, the other will be manning the computer and paying attention to questions that are coming in from your little 3rd graders, and we'll be addressing those as we teach. So this is really a good team effort between the 2 of us to best educate your little one.
Even more so this year, like Amanda said. Our morning routine in the regular classroom year is always very structured. And it's even more important this year with COVID, because you all are at different stages of your life at home. And we really want to help your children and your family build a morning routine to make your kids more successful with this unusual beginning of the 3rd grade classroom.
And we want it to be as normal of a school day as we can make it for them. So it is super important to have that normal morning structure that you would have at home. Wake up on time, get your teeth brushed, eat your breakfast, get dressed. Maybe even if you're so inclined in your school uniform, who knows? Maybe you only bought school uniforms and you don't have any new play clothes that are in the right size like we at our home.
It's just as important to have a classroom set up at home. A desk, a place to store things, to organize things. That's going to be more important this year than it ever has been.
Yes. And it's also really important to try to stay on track with the schedules that we give to you each day and that we guide you through each day. Because we're going to be taking you through all of the lessons and teaching you those lessons live on Vimeo. And we're going to be giving you those assignments to do in a timely manner in a certain chunk of time. And we'll be available and there to answer those questions pretty much right then. So it is important to try to stay on track so that it doesn't get overwhelming, because it can get really overwhelming when you don't keep up with the day's work and then you have 2 days to do, and then it snowballs into 3 days of work to catch up on. So do your best to try to stick with a normal school day the way that we would do in a classroom.
Mm-hmm. third grade in particular is a big transition year from the little kids, K1, 2. We really pick up the pace, and your kids just blossom in third grade. So what we're doing is we're trying to help build their independence, which means that you need to step back a little bit so they have a little room to step forward. It's super hard on parents. Kids are ready to step forward if you just give them a little bit of room. But
and sometimes they might try to get you to help them a little too much. So encourage them to step up and take ownership in their work.
And as we continue through this COVID beginning, it's going to be really important for you to stay in touch and monitor their work and find that healthy balance between you stepping back but not setting them free. We had some bad stories from last spring of parents giving too much freedom. So every family's going to have a different balance that's healthiest for you. We know you'll find it. We want to be a part of helping you find that.
Beginning when we're starting in this new routine, it might feel like a lot in the beginning. You might see your new workbooks and your books that are coming home to begin the year. It might look overwhelming, but we want you to know that we are going to walk you through this process, and we are going to be doing the instructing and all of that so that
allow yourself the grace to learn as we're growing through this. In the beginning, it is probably going to be overwhelming. And step back when you need to. Reach out for help. One of the greatest privileges of working at St. John's is watching you love on each other, families working together, supporting each other.
And this is an opportunity for you guys to really step up and be there for each other. So if someone's having a hard time with figuring out how to log into something, and you know that you have got this, that's your chance to step in and be there for your friends, your family. So make sure that you're paying attention to your classmates and their families, and check in on them and see how they're doing, both academically and also emotionally.
We do this in the classroom on a daily basis. We have kids who are great at this and somebody else is less good at that, and everybody helps each other together, and that's what we're really hoping that we'll continue to see blossoming in our new third grade classroom. Because when you're desperate, somebody else has a quick answer for you and can pull you right out of it. Don't be afraid to ask for help. And like Amanda said, watch out for each other too, because this is going to be a roller coaster. There's going to be days that are going to feel like a roller coaster. We're all a team. Last spring, we witnessed how important team building was. We had so many kids who worked together online, sharing FaceTime, and they played together, they were silly together, they shared drawings together, they worked together, and we're really encouraging that kind of collaboration.
Yes.
Because that's what we do in the classroom, and we're hoping to replicate that in some sort of a healthy way for them at home. So anytime you want to foster that connection, but also watch out for the kids who don't have somebody that they connect right away to. We have new families.
We have a couple of new families, so it is important that we try to kind of plug them in how we can and help them to get connected with others. So kind of look around and put feelers out to see if you can find out who our new families are, and we'll help to get everybody connected.
Because
so
we don't want to just be academic at St. John's. This time is challenging for your kids' social and emotional well-being. And by connecting them in every way we possibly can, we want to continue to grow that important part of them as well.
All right, so next up is something we're so excited about. We get to meet you guys face-to-face, mask-to-mask, in the classroom next week when you come to pick up your materials. And the sign-up for that is going to go live tomorrow. We're doing this today, so tomorrow is Friday the 14th. So on Friday the 14th, that sign-up is going to post to the school's website at sjlschool.org. And this is such a good time for us to come together. Like Mrs. Ablin said earlier, any questions that come up to you as we're going through this video, write them down, bring them with you. Anything that you're concerned about, you don't understand how this is going to happen, bring those questions to us at that meeting, and we will hopefully be able to kind of just walk through all of that together and help you to better understand what we're going to be doing.
Last year we worked with a different platform in third grade and second grade and first grade. And we're changing in 3rd grade to Google. So Google Site, our Google Classroom will be your hub for finding your daily schedule.
And I'll jump in with that really quick. So we have our Google site right here. I'm not quite ready to send that link out to you to monkey with, but it's going to have a couple of different spots where you can go. This is going to be our home page, which will just be simple. It'll have our contact information. Up in the corner, I'm sure it's very hard for you to see, but we'll have different tabs for different things. So we'll have our daily schedule there that you'll be able to click on and view what the day's schedule is, what the day's assignments are. There will be a resources button. Actually, this one's kind of cool. Let me see if I can go to it really quick. The resource button is really neat because it's going to have pictures of those links that you'll be able to go to. So it'll have a Prodigy link. It'll have an extra math, which we're going to use for our math facts practice. It'll have Spelling City for our spelling program. It'll have Accelerated Reader. And I imagine there will be a way to integrate Google Classroom in there as well. So it'll be your one-stop shop to be able to go and get logged into whatever you need. So hopefully that's going to kind of streamline that a little bit so you're not having to bounce back and forth between this and that. Hopefully it'll ease our load a little bit, or your load a little bit.
We used a bunch of different ways to teach at the end of the year last year, and so what we're trying to do is make it more simple for everyone. And so we're really excited about the Google platform. 4th, 5th, the upper grades have always used it, but this is our first year for it, so we're really excited about it. Vimeo will be our live stream platform, which allows us to have a live lesson running. It's a great platform because it allows us to stream live to you while it's recording it, and then we download it and save it. So if something happens in your day that you're not able to be in our regular morning 8 to 3 schedule, you can access our live lesson. And the other thing we really like about that is you can, after we've recorded it and downloaded it, you can stop it. And if your child has a concept in math that they don't get, you can replay the lesson, replay the working of the problem. And it's an improvement over last year.
Yes.
We love this element to it. So
it's going to be
Vimeo.
so helpful. We are going to be able to answer your child's questions throughout the day. They'll be able to use either Google Chat or there will be a comment section on each assignment that is posted where they'll be able to put in their questions and ask for help on certain things as we're teaching our lessons. And as I said earlier, one of us will be teaching live on that lesson and the other will be paying attention to what questions we have coming in. So we'll be able to interact with you and your kids throughout the day as we're going.
So it'll be clear at some point that problem 13 is a mystery to several of you out there. So Amanda will yell at me and say, Mrs. Apple, look at number 13, and then we'll back into it and play it again and work on it a little harder with more detail when we see that the class needs that.
Yes. And if your family is in need of checking out a device from St. John's, we do have that available to you. But please send us an email before you come in for your supply pickup so that we can have it all registered to go to you and have it prepped for you. Otherwise, it could just add a little more time that we wouldn't want to take away from time with you and your family. So yeah, send us an email if you would like to check out a device, but it's not required if you have stuff to work with already at home.
Our hours have been set from 8 in the morning until 5 o'clock daily. We'll be working with the kids between 8 and 3, but in that window from 3 to 5 is when we'll be looking for and answering your questions. So you can contact us then. And as always, we're going to protect Wednesday for staff meetings.
Yes. When your students are working on their assignments, everything is going to be submitted digitally. So we will be training you on how to, well, training your child and you, I suppose, on how to digitally submit those assignments on Google Classroom.
So we had a big paper shuffle last year. You were always schlepping in pounds of papers. That's over.
Yes.
So we're excited about that too.
Yes. And we'll be grading them on the Google Classroom as well. And what we are able to do in Google Classroom is actually return work to you digitally. And your student will be able to go back in and check over their work, look at what they've missed, see how they can improve. And that's going to be a really important element of what we need to train them to do so that they can be learning from those mistakes, because that's the whole point of third grade, is learning from those mistakes.
It's something that was brought up during one of our staff meetings. Some of the upper grade teachers said that they're making all these comments and all these corrections, but the kids never went back to them. So we want to build that in up front and just talk to you about it, so you make sure that not only is your child doing the work, but they're looking for our input on their work. Because if they're way off track, they got to find that out. And because we're not there in the classroom to touch them and talk to them and point it out ourselves, they're going to need to double check their work.
Yep. Make sure we've emailed you the Google form of the parent-student survey. So that's just to give us a little clue, a little idea of what your student is coming to us with. So if you could make sure that you fill that out, it's really important that we have a little bit of information on them.
I stole her line. Please let us know if there's anything happening in your lives at home that could possibly affect your child. If your dog is hit by a car, heaven forbid, or if grandpa's back is in trouble. Those kinds of things weigh on your kids more than you can imagine. In our regular classroom, we start off every morning with prayer, and the prayers that are lifted from your children, you probably don't know, but they do. They carry those prayers in class, and they worry about those things.
Yes.
So if you can help us connect with your child and address that, we would be so grateful at any little thing, and certainly the big things.
Yes. And also just keep us informed on how they're doing with their emotional well-being through all of this, because this has been huge for everyone. This has been
All of us.
This has been a huge stress on all of us. So if your child is particularly struggling with things and struggling through all of this, please let us know, because we want to be able to be there for them in whatever way that we can to encourage them and help them out.
It's something we tell each other all the time. God has us here for a purpose, for a reason, and we feel that particularly this year.
Yeah.
So lean on us, let us lean on you.
Mm-hmm. And there will be so much grace in this year. We hope that you will have grace with us, because there's going to be times when something goes down. There will be times when an answer doesn't, or a question doesn't get answered. Have grace with us, please, because we absolutely are going to have grace with you. And we don't know you yet, but we love you. And we hope that you will grow to love us just as we love your little kiddos. So there will be so much grace through all of this. And we have this awesome plan in place. And it's going to continue to evolve and get better and get better. And there will be moments where we slide a little bit and it gets a little rocky. But we're going to work through this all together. And we've got this. We're a good team.
We look forward to meeting you and working together with you, and especially your babies.
Thank you for lasting this long.
See you next week.
See you next week. Bye.